So in this demo, we are going to deploy Apache Hadoop release 2.7.0, which was released last week, April 21st, on the latest Ubuntu server Vivid Vervet 15.04 on Azure VM as a single node pseudo distributed mode. So for this, we are going to provision an Azure virtual machine from the Azure Vanilla Gallery. Here we are selecting the images from Ubuntu. We are taking up Ubuntu server 15.04 from Canonical image base, and we are clicking on this next arrow to proceed further. I'm giving my virtual machine name as Hadoop VM. Memory I am taking for the basic, it's 2 core 3.5 gigs of memory. You can increase it as much as required for the production base. Uploading a certificate. Password is optional. If you wanted to provide a password for the VM, you can provide, or optionally it's not mandatory. Next, proceed on the next icon. First, select my region, set up the endpoints. You can add PowerShell support as well if you would like to work, and to distribute the traffic uniformly. So if you have multiple nodes, so you can of course create an availability set here. So I'm go ahead and click on next. We choose the region as East Asia. Then finally, just install the VM agent and click on the completes icon to provision the VM. So there are intermediary steps. Alright, so the VM is running now and I should be able to connect. Alright, so I'm connecting right now. Ubuntu 15.04 Vivid Vervet Ubuntu server, the latest Ubuntu server, which is running as a virtual machine as a Linux VM on Microsoft Azure infrastructure. So let's get an update as a first step. Next, install JDK. So on Apache Hadoop version 2.7 deployment, it's mandatory that we provide the JDK version at least 7 or 7 plus. So this command would install OpenJDK 7. Most probably it would be 1.7.0 and subversion would be 75, that IST edition of OpenJDK. If you alternatively wanted to install Oracle JDK 7 or Oracle JDK 8, you can install it as well. But remember that to deploy Hadoop 2.7 onwards, you need at least JDK 7 or higher version than that. So the latest OpenJDK version 1.7.0 server edition 7.9 has been installed. So as you can see, the OpenJDK runtime environment, the JD edition is IST, that's 2.5.5, and OpenJDK 64-bit server VM, since we have the current OS is 64-bit server. Let's install SSH on this Ubuntu 15.04 server running on Azure. Install rsync, then also install SSH. Next, create the key pair by using SSH keygen for passwordless authentication. Check the content and move it within the SSH authorized keys folder. Let's download Hadoop. So to download Hadoop, you need to choose a suitable mirror. So we are downloading Hadoop 2.7.0, the current release in April 2015. Alright, so we have the current Hadoop package. Let's go ahead with the rest of the installation part. So we need to extract it. Extraction complete. Let's move the file, the extracted file. Next, check the default location of JDK. Copy it. And paste it in any text editor. Keep it aside because I need it next. You can check also the SSH configuration. Okay, SSH has been configured. Let's go ahead and configure gedit for the environment settings configuration. Before that, I'm going ahead and installing one of my favorite text editor tool called Vim. So it's already there. Let's configure the gedit, the bash rc file. You can do it either with gedit or any other standard text editor like vi, vim, nano on Ubuntu. So be in insert mode, move towards the end of the file. Here start to add the Hadoop variables. First export the Java path. Next export the default Hadoop home. Configure the path for MapReduce home, common home, yarn home. HDFS home. Alright, save and exit. Apply the settings. Next, move inside Hadoop home. Here you'd be able to find a number of MapRed site.xml, yarn site.xml, core site.xml, hdfs site.xml. A lot of configuration XML files have been available which you need to configure first for Hadoop deployment. So total 5 files, so we need to configure. That's one of them is MapRed site.xml, yarn site.xml, core site.xml, hdfs site.xml, and MapRed Hadoop environment shell. So these files all could be found inside your Hadoop home /etc/Hadoop folder. So what you can do, we first can copy the MapRed site template file over MapRed site.xml.template, and then we can start edit over MapRed site.xml. And then we can start work on MapRed site.xml. And inside MapRed site.xml in Hadoop 2.7 version onwards, even 2.6 also we did the same configuration. We need to add the following set of properties. So in the name of the property we need to add for MapRed site.xml the MapReduce.framework.name, and the value should be the default name. That could be the default value for yarn. After that we can save and exit. Next we can open yarn site.xml. That's the next generation MapReduce, the configuration for yarn. So in yarn we need to give the configurations for both resource manager and node manager, both the master and slave services. We need to add the following name. So here we need to write the node manager as yarn.nodemanager.aux-services, and value should be MapReduce_shuffle. Save and exit. Next we could start with core site.xml. That could be the basic configuration for Hadoop core. Bean insert. And the following set of properties. First.default.name, that's the default file system name, and also you need to mention the IP address and the port number for the HDFS local values. So HDFS by default it works on localhost and the port number 9000. So you can set that for Hadoop common in core site.xml, and finally you can save and exit. Next you could start HDFS site.xml. In HDFS site.xml also you need to add the following set of property. Since it's a single node cluster right now in a CPU distributed mode for Hadoop, I'm making the replication value as 1. That's only once in a time. Only one copy of this entire cluster will be replicated for file system. If you want to increase the DFS replication value, just increase the value over there. Next, add the property for name node. Add the property for data node. So the location will be very specific to the cluster, since for in this system, in this cluster for Azure Linux VM, I have the local host, the local cluster directory looks like this. That's homaged user. Similarly, for your local cluster, you can need to add the corresponding cluster name based on the name of the directory you are working. Finally, you can go ahead, save and exit. Next, open the Hadoop environment shell and just update the Java home. Next, make the local directory for name node and data node. Once done, just give the permission. Next, format the name node. Go ahead and start the Hadoop services. So type start dfs.shell. It would start the file system name node, data node, and secondary name node. start yarn by typing start yarn.shell. Type JPS. So as you can see, the list of all the services are running. That's name node, data node, secondary name node, and node manager, resource manager for yarn. So these are the steps that by how we could be able to deploy Apache Hadoop 2.7 as a single node pseudo distributed mode on Microsoft Azure Linux VM. That's Ubuntu Server 15.4 Vivid release of the server. So we could be also able to check so here our MapReduce and yarn services are running. So alternatively, if we could check the version of Hadoop that we are running, so we could be able to see that we are running the current release of Hadoop, that's 2.7.0, and the corresponding subversions, and it has been compiled with Jenkins, Apache Jenkins, and the command is running by default from user local Hadoop common jar file, that's 2.7.0. So one thing to note here, one last point is that this current release of Hadoop 2.7, it's not in production till now. It's still in development phase, and few more recent works has been done. So one of the latest update that's being done on this current release of Apache Hadoop 2.7 is that it has been right now added got the support of using Microsoft Azure Blob storage as the secondary storage for HDFS. And apart from that, other than that, there are a lot of other inbuilt support has been added over there. So this video that's represents the steps by which we could be able to install and deploy Apache Hadoop 2.7. That's the latest current versions of Apache Hadoop on Ubuntu Server 15.04, which is the current release of Ubuntu, using on Microsoft Azure Linux VM. Thanks for watching.